All this stuff like needed to have more layers built into it to really let it like hurt.
I don't care if it's one killer or four. We're gonna catch whoever did this.
Do you have any suspects? Driveby Movies, you're watching
Fresh releases.
My name's Blaze.
And my name is James.
And this week we're talking about Hulu's latest original film, The Boston Strangler.
More than one lunatic out there and you're gonna get us both killed.
A safe little world is just delusion.
The Boston Strangler comes from director Matt Ruskin. It's about Loretta McLaughlin, who is the reporter who first connected the murders and broke the story of the Boston Strangler. She and Gene Cole challenged the sexism of the early 1960s to report on the city's most notorious serial killer. Or spoiler for a true story. Possible killers? This is a movie that came out on Hulu relatively recently. Comes from 20th Century Fox, so probably was intended for theaters, and Disney was like, let's dump it onto Hulu. Good decision, bad decision? What do you think, Blaze?
I think Hulu is the perfect place for this movie, mainly because I oftentimes do not have Hulu, so it wouldn't impact me in any way. But yeah, I feel like this was trying to play. I think it's fair. Hulu, it seems like Disney, Fox has been placing a lot of their, 20th Century Studios has been placing a lot of their, dramatic features or just stuff like that on Hulu. Prey we saw appear on Hulu, although I think Prey could have easily been on Disney Plus because it's kind of the same style of and Marvelization as they're doing a lot of those Fox properties that they acquired. But at least for this one, it felt like this was tapping into that true crime market while also simultaneously tapping into, the dramatic feature market based on a true story thing. But was Boston Strangler successful at capturing those two audiences and kind of merging them? I don't personally think so. I think it suffers a lot from, the things that based on a true story movies suffer from. And this being just an oversaturated market currently where there's, a billion different podcasts that were probably even about the Boston Strangler, let alone other true crime docu-stories.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. I was the one who kind of forced us to review this movie because I was looking forward to it just because I kind of just heard about it. I saw that it was getting decent reviews, and I'm a big sucker for any kind of murder detective story. Zodiac is one of my favorite films of all time, and I kind of was hoping that would be the case. And this movie does feel like a straight to Hallmark Channel kind of movie. Like, no offense to that, but it's just. I'd say overall the plot line and storyline of the true story is more interesting than the actual movie we got. Kind of the movie starts to get interesting towards the end when there's only like 15-20 minutes long. One thing though, this movie isn't overly long, at least. Like a lot of these style movies kind of go way too crazy with the runtime just because of so much information. Maybe that would have helped this movie, but just if you know anything about the hero's journey, if you ever taken any kind of film classes, like the call to adventure literally happens within like 8 minutes of the movie, and I was just like, whoa, we don't get like any kind of character establishment. It's just like someone's been murdered, I'm on it, and I'm gonna start interviewing and calling out the police right away, and sexism experienced right away and stuff. It's just like all this stuff like needed to have more layers built into it to really let it like hurt and stuff, because there's a lot of great meat and potatoes there, but it's like the chicken wasn't seasoned with anything and the potatoes weren't like peeled or seasoned as well or something. Like, yeah, there's just a lot missing within this movie, and it's a bummer just because I think the subject could have been interesting. I like Keira Knightley, she's a great actress. But just this movie just felt like it wasn't it.
Yeah, I really feel like I like your metaphor there. I kind of feel like it's those potatoes that you don't cook all the way, but you think it's cooked, and then you get to the dinner table and you're like, I can't put this shit back in. Like, like I guess we're just gonna try and eat it, and then you get to a point where you're like, just throw it out. Like, like I can't eat an undercooked potato. It's just not worth it. I ain't trying to break a tooth. But if for some reason I felt like this movie, it feels like it's in an oversaturated market. I know it's trying to go for like that David Fincher-esque movie, like trying to be almost like a Zodiac or something like that. I feel like, Zodiac is obviously like the Citizen Kane of like almost serial killer movies, or ones that do something a little bit beyond just being based on a true story. But yeah, this film just feels, I don't know, like they put so much into like the stylization of the movies, like so many muted colors. It's got a look to it, but the look is so muted that it just
dark.
Yeah, it's dark. I mean, the subject matter is dark. I think they made a creative choice of like oftentimes not really showing some of the gruesomeness of the actual murders taking place, but letting us kind of hear behind closed doors these experiences. That was definitely a creative choice. I don't know if that's one that I would have taken, or I think added really any other elements to the script. You do see some gruesome photos here and there throughout the film, but I'm just not really sure that creative choice really add anything extra to the film beyond almost making it feel like Disney was behind this production by making it super safe.
Right. Yeah, because this movie had like I said, it just had the potential to go in multiple different directions. Don't want to blame it all on the director, just because, this is like a studio movie. Like, directors do have to, you think the director's in charge of everything, but like, this director probably was, following direction from a bunch of other people as well too. But yeah, just like the only creative aspect of this movie is just, I'd say maybe the color tone of the movie. But yeah, just the script wasn't developed as good as it should have been. Like, I'm surprised also, just because this is the kind of movie that definitely could have used a few more rewrites to really get it done properly. Just because, yeah, it feels very unfinished, and that's what I meant by it felt like a Hallmark movie. Like, nothing against that, but just like, because there has been some decent stuff that's come out of Hallmark, I guess you can say, but maybe nothing I can think of off the top of my head. But yeah, it just literally felt like something though that would have been made for like another streaming platform. Like, I kind of had higher hopes just because Hulu has put out some decent stuff over the years. But yeah, like this movie, like, I thought it might have had potential Oscar potential with it, but I see why it kind of came out a couple months after the Oscars now.
I think this was probably a play originally. I know that the director Matt Ruskin's film, I think it's Crown Heights, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was, got a lot of talk at Sundance. So this was probably, a jumping off point for him to kind of make something with a bigger scale. But it just seems like, after going through development and everything at Fox and Disney, it just felt like, let's just throw this on Hulu. It seems like Hulu has almost become this dumping ground for Disney, because stuff that, ties into Marvel or Star Wars is going straight onto Disney Plus. But anything else that doesn't really quite fit in that neat little box that Disney Plus encapsulates just gets dumped onto Hulu with no rhyme or reason almost. And is not going to theaters, obviously. But I don't feel like Disney is making many plays at theaters beyond Star Wars and Marvel films. Yeah,
I mean, they need to make money other ways and stuff, and like, they're making billions with their movies. Good for them. They're making billions from their theme park. Good for them. And they have all these streaming platforms. I thought
Billions was Showtime.
Yeah.
I thought Billions was on Showtime.
Is that the Paul Giamatti one?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I don't know if Hulu's making them billions, but I'm about to drop my Hulu subscription anyway, so don't expect any more Hulu reviews from us for a while, I guess. Yeah. And also, this movie just didn't help the case.
Yeah. I'd say if you have Hulu, it's not the worst thing you could watch, but honestly, I could give you 15 different movies on Tubi that are a better watch than this and shorter.
Yeah, I'd say just overall, if you're a real big like true crime person, like you might enjoy this, but I am, and I just thought it's just okay. Like, it's not a bad movie. It's just very forgettable. I watched it this morning. The killer stuff was interesting, like, you know, when the like kind of the twist is revealed, Keira Knightley's good in it. But you know, like it felt very similar to Spotlight, where like just the subject was better than the actual movie itself and stuff. So, and it doesn't help that both would take place in Boston, I guess. But yeah, you know, I'd say check it out if you're into true crime. Really big on that stuff, but it's a great way to help support the show just by letting us know what you thought about the movie, whether we're right or wrong. Yeah.
And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and click that notification bell to get all of our latest updates.
If you can't get enough of us here on YouTube, catch all our social media links down below for Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, as well as our own Letterboxd accounts. That'll conclude this week's episode. Tune in next week for a brand new video.